All right, let's get into it. Bryce Gelman here, back after a short hiatus with the live streams, but definitely a longer hiatus when it comes to the Knicks. There hasn't been much to talk about. And sometimes that could be a good thing because on August 22nd, there's like one or two reports trickling out about the Knicks each week. And like, I understand people want to get excited about the team, and it's now under what 3 weeks till they're back in training camp, and then 2 months, just over 2 months until their opening showdown against the Celtics. But there is just a lot of excitement going on with the Knicks, and one thing that we got to talk about today, and something that I have just read up on. I mean, I've seen a bunch of stuff from Fred Katz, The Athletic, and comments and Bleacher Report articles and terrible mock trades, idiots, regarding Julius Randle. And Julius Randle, of course, if you didn't know, is on the last year of his deal. He's got a player option after this year, which I doubt he takes, considering the fact that he might want a large contract with another team. But Julius Randle is eligible for a 4-year, $181 million extension. And if you look at all the other Knicks players, Josh Hart, Jalen Brunson, Julius Randle before him, Mitchell Robinson, all those guys have gotten extensions. And now it's been almost 3 weeks since Julius Randle has been extension eligible. So you may ask, what the hell's going on with Julius Randle? Why haven't the Knicks made it a priority to put the pen to the paper, re-sign Julius Randle, have him back with the Knicks probably until the end of his career? And according to Fred Katz, and this is, and I quote, in quotes, I don't believe there's a team in the NBA that would value the 3-time All-Star more than the Knicks do. And it's neutral at best, sorts told them of Randle's perceived trade value. So that's why. That's why. The Knicks are still looking to trade or potentially trade Julius Randle for who they perceive a better fit for the team. The issue is other teams just don't value Julius Randle high, which is so interesting to me, as it probably is for most of you out there if you're also a Knicks fan. You understand what Julius Randle provides the Knicks. Yes, there are times when it is extremely frustrating to watch him play the game of basketball, to watch him mope around on the sidelines when he's not getting his way. When it comes to not running back on defense or sitting at the end of the bench when he's annoyed. Say what you want about all that stuff, all the prima donna BS, which I think he is put to the side, swept under the rug, and embraced his new role with the team. Julius Randle, in terms of talent, is unmatched with most other power forwards in the NBA. How many other 24, 9, and 5 guys are there in the league? There's like 2 or 3. Jokic being one of them. He is so underrated at this point in his career. And it's frustrating, again, to watch this type of thing play out, where the Knicks are timid in terms of giving him the extension that he so deserves, because they want to trade him. And it's not like the Knicks are actively going out and shopping Julius Randle and floating his name to other teams. The Knicks made their big splash when they traded for Mikal Bridges, giving up 5 first-round picks in a swap. That was their big splash. They didn't have to give up Julius Randle in that trade, nor would they ever have. But when you look at the other teams in the league with stars available, and one name I've seen floated is Brandon Ingram, a guy who's 3 years younger than Julius Randle, multi-time All-Star, a great scorer, someone who the Pelicans clearly don't want to pay because they would have extended him a year or 2 ago. That is one possible name the Knicks could look to trade Julius Randle for. But the issue, again, is the fact that other teams just don't see the value in Julius. They see the attitude issues. For whatever reason, they completely overlook the 3-time All-Star, 2-time All-NBA player that he has been with the Knicks, the 25, 10, and 5 guy. A guy who has completely changed his game, specifically he was so good last year. There's a reason why he was an All-Star. There's a reason why the Knicks went 14-2 in the month of January. 12-2 with a healthy team. There's a reason why they had that success. There's a reason why Jalen Brunson, again, listen, this is more of a compliment to Jalen Brunson's game, the fact that his efficiency didn't really dip without Julius Randle. But when you look at the amount of catch and shoot shots that Jalen Brunson got before the Randle injury versus after the Randle injury, you understand the importance for Julius on this team. His ability to corral the defense, get into the paint, get downhill. He's a problem. How many other guys in the league are 6'9", 260? Him, LeBron, Giannis, with that head of steam, where you have to look out. You have to collapse the defense. You've got to get 2 or 3 guys in the paint, or Julius Randle is scoring. And even if you get those 2 guys in there, he's probably getting fouled 8 times out of 10. That's the player that Julius Randle is. That's all he is. I don't say, oh, it's all he is. He's a lot more than that. But talent-wise, he's a versatile guy who, for the life of me, I cannot understand why other teams just don't see that. And yes, there's no reason why the Knicks should trade him, even if there was some value out there for him. Of course he's the most valuable to the Knicks as he is to any other team. We know who Julius Randle is. We know what he brings. I just outlined all of it for you. And if other teams can't see that, then screw them. You hold on to him and you see what you have with this roster. And I've been such a fervent supporter of the idea that the Knicks need to go in with what they have and reevaluate the trade deadline. And this is part of it, is that if they re-sign Randle, he's under contract. He's got the 6-month exception where you can't trade him before the 2025 offseason. You can't trade him at the 2025 deadline. You kind of hog-tie yourself with what you have because you don't know what you have yet. So I think the Knicks are practicing due diligence here. What I don't understand, though, is how they expect his value to change. If Julius Randle comes out and he's extremely efficient, he fits very well in with the Knicks, and teams start to value him, they're not going to want to trade him at that point. That's the big question mark I have as to why the Knicks haven't done anything yet. It's been 19 days since Julius Randle became extension eligible. The Knicks wasted no time with Jalen Brunson. They didn't really waste any time with Josh Hart, nor did they waste much time with Mitchell Robinson. All of those guys got deals within a few weeks to a month after they became extension eligible, and Julius Randle sits here. And now, according to Fred Katz and multiple other people out there who report on the Knicks, who all do a great job, the extension talks are on the back burner for Julius Randle and the Knicks. It's not like Leon Rose is making this a big priority. Do I think that this is a concern? No. If Julius Randle feels at least somewhat slighted by the Knicks not extending him when he expected an extension, but teams don't value him outside of New York, he might try to leave, might try to get some money from another team, and they're not going to give it to him if there isn't the value that the Knicks have for him out there with other teams. So it's a loaded question of whether or not the Knicks are going to re-sign Julius Randle in the coming months. There's a lot of factors at stake here. There are. The Knicks are a better team, I think, with Julius Randle. As much as the Philly fans and as Boston fans, as whoever else who have no idea about the Knicks, wanted to say that the Knicks were better off without Julius Randle in the playoffs, is an idiot. Objectively stupid, have no idea what they're talking about. I will continue to point to January of last season, and how good the Knicks looked, how connected they were offensively, and also on defense. That's kind of what you get when you trade for OG Anunoby. And the offense wasn't an issue. It never got stagnant. They demolished the Nuggets by 40 points. Demolished the defending champion Denver Nuggets with Julius Randle. Yes, they advanced to the second round of the playoffs without Julius. But you have a healthy Julius Randle, the Knicks have their way with the Indiana Pacers. Even after the OG Anunoby injury, the Knicks mopped the floor with the Indiana Pacers. Tyrese Halliburton goes crying to his mama after the Knicks sweep them on their home floor in 4 games. That's what happens if Julius Randle's in the lineup. If you're just joining now, thank you. I'm Bryce Gelman, talking Knicks. I usually talk about New York sports, sometimes New Jersey Transit. Nothing gets me more frustrated. I digress. But yeah, we're talking Julius Randle, and we're talking the potential extension that he could sign, and why the Knicks haven't offered it to him, and why the negotiations, according to multiple Knicks beat writers, are on the back burner. Personally, this is what I think the Knicks are holding off on giving Julius Randle an extension because they look at it as any one of these players, on specifically looking at the Western Conference, any one of these really good players on some really good Western Conference teams that aren't nearly as good as the Thunder might want to ask out. Or let's say Giannis Antetokounmpo. And I know the Knicks don't have as many assets as they did before they traded for Mikal Bridges, but they still have Julius Randle. And I know other teams don't value him as much as the Knicks do, but he still has some value, right? You may not be able to trade him right now for a superstar, but if you add a few picks to a team that still thinks they could contend, or a team that wants to continue to sell tickets, then that might make sense for another team. But I look at it as this. They are refusing to give him the money right now because the exception that's put on him in terms of adding him to a trade, they want to potentially make a move at the deadline. They want to become a more deep team, a better team. I wouldn't say deep. They're already as deep as they could possibly be. They're going to have to, combine a few assets to get better in terms of their starting 5, in terms of their backup center position. They are waiting for that. They are sitting tight. They are not throwing the bag at Julius Randle because they don't know what they're doing yet. They have the majority of the team set. They have the foundation set. The Villanova guys. That's this team's identity. And I don't think they realistically know if Julius Randle fits into said identity, both culturally with the guys in the locker room and also just on the floor. Personally, I think it's going to work out. I think that Julius Randle is going to continue to show why he was the best signing in New York in 2019. He's still with his team that he signed with that offseason. AD and Kyrie, they're not. There has to be some sort of loyalty shown to Julius Randle here. I understand the Knicks wanting to wait. I understand the idea that there could be something better out there. The grass isn't always greener, ladies and gentlemen. And I know James Dolan values loyalty. He has to. Because before he signed Leon Rose, before Leon Rose signed Jalen Brunson, before the Knicks made this big turn towards being a competent organization, Julius Randle put his pen to the paper and signed with the Knicks. Now, maybe the Knicks were the team that were offering him the most money. Maybe he didn't have any other interest around the NBA. But he signed with an incompetent Knicks organization who had Steve Mills. Steve Mills running the operations. He put his trust in one of the most incompetent sports franchises up to that point in the 20 years prior. Shouldn't that be rewarded? Is loyalty not rewarded in sports anymore? The Knicks already have the foundation. They have everyone else they could possibly want. Bring Julius back. Bring the guy back. I do think that they should go into this season with everything they have. I'm just someone who is extremely confident in what that will turn into, what this Knicks team will be. Julius Randle could be a number 2 on a championship team. With the 3, the 4, the 5, and the 6 options behind him. This isn't the Denver Nuggets we're talking about. It isn't like if the Denver Nuggets traded Aaron Gordon to the Knicks for Julius Randle, and Julius Randle became the 2nd or 3rd option behind Jamal Murray. I know that's not the best comparison, but let's say Jamal Murray was out of the picture. He's the 3rd guy. Let's say in my hypothetical, Julius Randle's the 2 guy behind Nikola Jokic. That's not good enough right there. But on a team with the depth that the Knicks have, with two of the top 3 wing defenders in the NBA, Julius Randle is more than enough as the number 2 option, especially with your number 1 guy time and time again performing in the clutch when it matters the most. Someone you could go to. And if the defense wants to corral Jalen Brunson at the end of games, guess who you have on the backdoor cut? Julius Randle. Guess who you got on a potential mismatch? You got Julius Randle. Do you remember how good the pick and roll action was starting to become between Jalen Brunson and Julius Randle? Well, I do. And that's something I want to see going forward for this next team. It's not something I want to see. It's something I need to see. I need to see it with my own eyes. And I don't think that we're not going to see it. I think the Knicks are not trading Julius Randle, partially because other teams just don't value him as high as they value him, but also partially because it doesn't make sense. I also tend to agree with the idea of not extending him yet. You never know what's going to happen. You never know what's going to happen in Milwaukee with Giannis. I know that's a pipe dream. That's a wet dream for me, as it is for all of you tuning in here, if you're a Knicks fan. And of course, the Knicks don't have the assets, which they did, again, like I said, before the Mikal Bridges trade. But it's something that they could still be entertaining because they could think it's a possibility. Leon Rose moves in silence. We don't know anything that he's about to do before he actually does it. It's just the case yet again here with the Julius Randle talks. No, that's all I got for today. I know it was a short one. Another live stream coming tomorrow talking about the Yankees potentially. One giant step just dropped. I tweeted that out at Bryce Gelman. If you want to take a look at that. Solo without Sean. I did my recap of the Giants-Jets joint practices. The fact that the secondary is just god awful and it's a problem. And they will get obliterated by teams opposing quarterbacks. So take a look at that. Take a listen to that. There's no video on that. But yeah, another live stream coming tomorrow. Maybe a video as well. But plenty more content coming your way as this offseason of the NBA rolls on and as the MLB season starts to, chug towards the postseason. And Aaron Judge just continues to hit home run after home run. He is unbelievable. He's the best baseball player that I've seen with my own 2 eyes. And it is so awesome that the Yankees have him. And we all get to root for him if you're a Yankee fan. And it's also awesome that the Yankees will ruin one of the greatest seasons ever this postseason because they aren't winning anything. It's another topic for another day. I'm Bryce Gelman. Talk to you all tomorrow. See ya.